Welcome, Milind. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Milind and I are actually good buddies, and so we talk quite a bit about some of the things that we're going to ask Milind here today. So, Milind, if you were to take a look at his exponential medicine faculty photo, he's standing there with a sign that says Datalicious. And indeed, I would describe you as Datalicious. And so, no, you are. You're probably one of the leading thinkers on deep machine learning and artificial intelligence, and we've spoken with you a number of times at Exponential Medicine. And
Yes.
so give me, from your vantage point right now,
Yeah.
a state of play. What's going on? What are you seeing?
Well, so I think AI, we're not there for AI yet.
Okay,
I
what
think
does
it's
that mean, Milind? We're not there. Where are we going, first of all?
I think we're getting better, right? We've really gone from the age of, CPU processing to GPU processing to Tensor now. I'm dying to get my hands on quantum. I mean, I think that's going to be a game changer for a lot of the genomic studies that we're doing today.
Why is that?
Just the speed of processing, right?
Okay.
So today, if you look at your average cost of doing much of this work from an analytics perspective, 90% of your investment is often spent in just data prep and data cleansing. Now, if we can, and so if you think about it, if you have a list of 10 questions you want to be able to answer, we rarely only be able to get to 2 because your money has already run out by the time you cleanse the data.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
Now, as a where Tensor and these other acquisition engines are going to come through is if we can get better at machine learning for data cleansing and machine learning for data preparation, we've accelerated that timeline significantly. So now we get to ask the other 8, but also get to ask ourselves the question, are those questions even relevant anymore?
By the time we get there, right?
By the time
Now,
you get
is
there.
there work being done on
Yeah.
deep learning for data cleansing, deep learning for data preparation?
There's not, and I really wish someone figures this out. I mean, I'm almost tempted to, in some cases, just leave and start this, because this is $1 trillion company. I think it is the number one problem for any data geek in the world, is just there's not good, clean data that we can work with. And we're at a stage where, look, we've got open source data, we've got open data that's coming through,
Right.
we've got open source algorithms. My commitment, right, and what I would request my peers in the industry as well as the overall healthcare industry is really let's get into the business of creating open data models.
Okay.
Because the data models are now curated content that we can immediately start advancing.
Wasn't that supposed to be one of the things about big data, that it was an open data model when we started this conversation? Wasn't that supposed to be part of the...
No, I wish it was, right? But, and I think we've gotten so caught up in some of the buzzwords, right? I mean, I have this little saying at work where I tell the guys, look, buzzwords and bullshit lead to a lot of pilots, right? And the problem is we're so stuck in pilot hell. It's a cesspool of pilots right now, right? And none of them have really moved forward, or if they've moved forward, frankly, in a very small, they've moved very forward in a very small, discrete way.
Right.
We haven't reached the chance of really understanding what is the data we're trying to go after, what are the insights we want to go after, what's the narrative we want to go after, and frankly, what is the ambition that we want to get out of all of this so that we can start moving the narrative forward of how we improve health outcomes.
Okay, so how do we do this then?
Yeah.
I mean, like, what steps need to be taken so that we can get out of this, what did you call it?
The cesspool of pilots. So first of all, I'm not a big believer of creating a fail-safe environment, right? I know that seems to be a big tech thing, right? Saying, we got to reward failure. That's total nonsense.
No.
I mean, you can never go to a business person and say, yeah, give me $1 million and I'll fail for you on purpose. Who does that?
Right.
What we need to do is experiment well. Experiment well is still a discipline. I mean, we're with a scientific community. We're built on scientific evidence, but yet we fail to apply that. We fail to apply that in the capabilities that we want to build out in data science. Right? It just doesn't happen. So I think for us, the first step is knowing how to experiment. Instead of building most valuable products,
Right.
build most lovable products.
Most lovable?
Yeah. Most lovable products are products that get adopted right at the get-go. Think of Pokemon Go. Who would have thought that would have been the most amazing
But it
health
was
app?
very lovable.
Well, very lovable, right? And all ages, right?
Right.
All genders, completely.
No, and that introduced people to that different
To that
augmented
notion.
reality technology in such a friendly way.
This is the value that I see here. So, and I think if we go from MLP to MVP, so now it's valuable because now you've tested out the lovability factor, you can now start building around and start building the business case around it. And then you move into finally the pilot, and then the scale up, and then the industrialization. But also the biggest sin that we have in any corporate entity is that we don't know how to stop or kill things that are no longer relevant.
That's true. That's
You
very
know?
true. Yeah.
So you end up now with,
a whole bunch of things that
just
coexist
garbage.
and
And what happens again? All your investments go into integration, into this, that, and the other. And by that time, you don't even know who's even using the application at the
anymore.
time.
Well, you've got like probably a mixed base of users, some that are using old, new, some that are hacking them together.
Yeah. I mean, look, one of the things I'm trying to create within the industry, and it's not really my idea, it's spinning out of the National Cancer Institute, the whole notion of fair data. And it's very simple, actually. It stands for the most common elements that we see in users today. When you ask them, hey, so chief data officer, I'm just a data guy, right? Let's just try and work on some stuff. They said, Milind, if you can just help me find the data in our company, that'll be awesome.
We seem to have lost it.
We seem to have lost it. So it stands for findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable.
Okay.
That should be the FICO score for information assets in our companies.
I love that.
Right?
That's a beautiful analogy.
And if we start putting that not only into our contractual obligations with partners that we work with, but we also put that into the way in which we measure ourselves. I mean, you look at data stewards today.
Yeah.
Data stewards must have to be the most thankless job on the face of the planet, because you never get a pat on the back for good data, because there's no such thing. Right? There's good enough data, there's no good data.
Good enough.
So how this kind of framework now allows people to actually feel good about cleaning data, feel good about doing that, and ultimately, with all the technology that we have today, this is still a people issue, right?
Yep.
And the worry that I have, what I'm sleepless about, honestly, is why we don't have enough diversity in the people that need to do the work. I recently, I'll give you an example, right? So I recently posted a head of machine learning and AI job that I'm looking for a guy or girl, it's okay. And I remember he was late in Paris and having great dinners and really champagne, with the guys and girls. And I came back to my office and I said, finally we got this job posted, now let me put my spin on it. Put it out there. When I woke up in the morning, it was 11:40 at night. When I woke up in the morning, there were 6,700 views of that post.
Oh, wow.
I had 150 resumes in one day, less than 12 hours, right? We talk about the war for talent or the race for talent. That is nonsense. If you talk to people like they are people and you motivate them that you've got aspiration to do really great work, as a pharma company, we have really great data.
Yep.
Or we have a lot of data. It's a great data. We need to get there.
It's getting there.
And we have real business problems that need to be solved.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to join and run that? Right?
Yeah, very inspiring.
So, now it's at 10,700 views. I have more resumes than I know what to do with. It might be 3 companies we just spin out of that.
And go get yourself the kind of data cleansing, deep learning mechanism that you want.
Exactly. And it's, I think one other big issue we face in that talent pool, what I ask recruiters nowadays, for every male resume I see, I need 3 female resumes. Because if we don't start including gender diversity in our talent pool right now,
it's going to be one-sided.
It's not, you can't get the diverse opinions you need.
Right.
And it's already proven, right? Diversity leads to greater economic outcome.
Yep. There it is, Milind, fixing it all here, right there.
Well, one day at a time. The good news is I have no more hair to lose. So.
Well, there's that.
Although I heard last night, though, the stem cells, apparently if you put the thing on your head,
it will
grow the hair.
Oh my gosh.
So that's
let's try it.
Business right
so
there.
next year when we interview you, you're going to have a full head of hair.
I'm going afro.
Oh my God. You heard it here first. Thank you, Milind. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to speak with you. I'm Jessica DeMassa here in the GuideWell Insights Lounge at Exponential Medicine 2017. Thank you.